they're they don't accomplish nothing because you come in and say what you're going to do it, and then that's it. Hold you accountable tomorrow, whatever. But if everybody's working toward the same thing, not on the same person's business, but towards the same thing in their business, then you'll stick together and you can help each other because you're all going through it and growing through it together. So it made sense, and that's what that post was this morning and about. So on that idea, does anybody have any different ideas than the two I posted to choose from, or?
First of all, I'll just say my name's Eliana.
Eliana, sorry.
It's okay. I'm sure
Nope,
I'm going to mispronounce people's names as well because they're foreign to me as well. So that makes sense. Yeah, I'll just kind of like I got on an accountability group about a month ago. Through Jesse was looking for wholesalers, and back then, we were wholesaling. I don't like it. I never liked it, but I understood that first thing he's looking to see is people take action. So part of the taking action was a few of us got on an accountability group. And the way we were running it was every week, each one of us would kind of map out what their goals were for that week and express those. And we would next week come back and say, okay, have you done 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Measurable goals, and make sure that those were done. And then he jumped into one of our Zooms and he said, guys, that's nice, but for the long run, that's not going to hold. And accountability groups that work that way won't actually achieve much. You're just kind of like checking off each other's things that you're supposed to be accountable for your own self. But once you start working together on a goal that for everyone is a challenge, then you're putting together your brains and your capabilities into understanding how to get those things done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when you think about that, it kind of makes it a bit, sometimes it makes it a bit complex because everyone, like it takes a moment to figure out what that goal is that everyone is needing or everyone wants to work on and get done. And it is a challenge right now for everyone at the same time. For me, I'll say that right now, I was thinking that social media is a challenge because I don't know how that thing works. Maybe I'm the youngest here in the group, but still I shy away from socials. Never really use them in a way that like for business or for expressing things that will lead to somewhere. So that's been a challenge, and it's part of our 5 non-negotiables. So I was thinking maybe that would be a good one to start from. And another reason is for when you share your journey, other people start getting interested, I've seen. And then when they get interested, you've got more people turning to you who might be a resource for what you're trying to achieve. And then when you do socials, it's, yeah, basically. That was my thought process.
Sounds like a good one.
What was that, Bill? I didn't hear you.
Socials, everybody needs to work on that, so it's a good place to start.
Sounds like a good one to me too, because I've barely been trying to do it with the 3 a day, and I know I can do better.
So I think we can also, when it comes down to socials, one of the things that I've seen a lot of people do is they'll do something like this, like a Zoom call situation or whatever, call it a podcast. Podcasts are mostly like something you hear, not something you see, but people call this a podcast as well. So, and then they'll snippet pieces of these kinds of conversations and put them on and share that, and that piques interest. I have no clue how to do that. Just putting it out there as something that I've seen that people do and that attracts more interest. And one of the things that I was thinking about maybe is kind of tracking the journey in a way. like talking the journey in a way and sharing that. And that can be content that we can all share. Because if we all do this, that we can all share, we're all on the journey. We can all share the journey. We can all have that convo and share it as we go. I don't know how that's going to look, but it was a thought. So. And Bill, it's good to see you not out of that peephole thingy.
So in the spirit of growing together, so I've done quite a few podcasts. I actually enjoy pretty much being the host. I don't really like to be interviewed. I feel awkward being interviewed, but I like being the host, and I can share with you guys. Maybe I'll make a video just because of our time constraints that we have of kind of, you know, the background workings of how the podcast works and kind of what I've learned so far in my short time or experience doing them. But I'm happy to do that to help kind of just share the knowledge.
I'd actually love to be interviewed. I think I'll learn a lot from that because I've never been on a podcast.
I wouldn't mind interviewing you if we could figure out a time that works. But I would love to. I interviewed Nathaniel. I'm interviewing Brandon. I'll be happy if you guys want to be interviewed too. I would love to interview you guys.
Yep, I would too.
I'd appreciate that because for me,
Yep.
that'd be a learning curve as well, not just, yeah, it'd be a learning curve on how that's run. I've never done this before.
I've got the offers too, and I haven't because of I guess stage fright. There you go. And so it's time to get over that. So
Oh my God.
Vulnerability.
The first one, yes, does feel a little bit awkward. But hopefully I can make it comfortable for you guys. So it just kind of feels like you and I talking and not necessarily, you know, the pressure of the whole world watching.
sweet.
Okay. Any other ideas we can do, like to get social, like, have you guys tracked what you've done up till now on socials?
I have not tracked it, and I'm also in Jesse's other deal, the REI Vault, and they had us all do a skit they used off of that they got off of Chat GPT, and so we all did the same one, and they're going to cut it and splice them all together, and that's supposed to be coming this week. Is the splicing them to cutting part out of each person's and splicing it together to create the one, but multiple people saying the same thing basically.
So I was actually going to share that I've tried ChatGPT, and there's another one called Claude. They are insanely amazing when you put in the right questions, or I've got like a prompt kind of thing that you can fill in what you're like in blanks, and then you put it out there and it'll give you a week worth of topics to talk about. And then on those topics, you can ask ChatGPT. You can, I put in to Claude. I like Claude more than Chat actually, but I put in like how I express things, like how I would write something down, just anything random. And then I asked them to use the same way of speaking, like kind of mimic me and create a post mimicking the way I would use language or the way I express. It's interesting. It works. You kind of like, you have to tweak it, and in time, I'm pretty darn sure it's going to learn how I work, but It's been an interesting journey, but I think the reason I haven't actually been using those things is because I'm waiting for that perfect moment, and it's never gonna come. So like getting out of your shell and just actually doing it.
Actually doing
That's
it.
been the So I'll try to find the one I've used and see if I can share it, because I don't know if I've got it in English. I have seen something that was shared with me from Alex Hormozy, I think, about ChatGPT and what you can ask it to do. That's in English for sure. So I'll try to find those things and forward it to you guys. Because that's the resources I know for now, at least. But if anyone has tracked what they're doing on socials and seeing what works and not works and knows how to share that or how to do that, I'd appreciate that.
And then
I found putting it on YouTube was pretty good. It's easy to share.
Sorry, say again?
Those videos I did them on YouTube. So, you know, they don't have to worry about storing them on your drive. You can store it on YouTube drive. You always have it, you know, it's talking about being different sizes or whatever. I ran mine through my phone makes them too big, so I run them back through another program called OBS Studios. It's free. It records my screen. So I'm running that like right now, and I can record this video what we're doing right now by doing that. I found it really
Wait,
good for like doing chats and whatever. You can record a chat too with it.
how did you get that done again? How did you upload to? I don't know how to use YouTube. YouTube's a complete black hole in my mind. I've got no idea how that works.
I ran out. My camera makes too big, so I ran it through another program called OBS Studios, and that records my screen. So I just played it on one screen, record it, and I take that one and I can change the size on it. So I ran it down like a quarter of the size, so it wasn't near as big. And I uploaded that to YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel. All I gotta do is I can call them up anytime I want. So if they're talking about they don't have the video or whatever, like I can just give them the link to the YouTube if I want to. That's what I've been posting in the chat is the YouTube clips. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
I'll try that.
I thought it'd be good if everybody put their post in there and we could kind of see what they're talking about. You know, if you're not talking about something too personal, but that's not what we're doing anyway. We're talking about what we feel like. I talk about, you know, kind of what my goals are today or what my, you know, the 5 things I'm trying to get done and things like that. So watching me sweat. I'm sure y'all, I don't know if y'all looked at it or not, but I figured it was just a way we could communicate without having to actually make time to talk. So
Bill, are you only posting on YouTube or are you posting other places?
I posted those videos on YouTube.
Okay.
I put some things on Facebook. I haven't figured out anything with Instagram. I have an Instagram, but I can't make it work. I have no idea what the hell it's doing. I don't know anything about Instagram.
the videos you're talking about are like a daily check-in video, right?
Ones I've been posting.
Yeah, yeah.
Do anything. I mean, you could put anything in a video.
So then you
I've
can
been trying to
take
work on
those,
it
I
the
mean, if
past
they're not personal and you
year or
feel
so,
comfortable with them,
actually,
you can
is
take those and
better
post them
communication in
on
general, from my part,
Facebook
both
or
professionally and personally.
Instagram or
And,
whatever. I find for
this
myself, at least
honestly has been
Instagram
something,
being
the
the
structure
most comfortable one to
one is
use,
very
and then
simple,
Facebook's number
very clear
2.
and concise.
But when I
And,
post on Instagram, it will automatically pull that post and post
it's
it on
useful
my
in
Facebook as well.
everything.
The only
from
difference that I
just
found for
day-to-day,
now, at least,
either talking
is
to
that
upper
when I
management,
post it on
talking to
Instagram and I tag
employees,
people, I don't
talking
think it
to
pulls the
a
tagging
moneylender,
into
talking
Facebook
to a
as it
wholesaler,
will on Instagram.
talking to you, talking to,
So on
you know,
Facebook, you can
super
tag many
useful.
more people,
And
which when
literally
you
what I
share
have
that
been
with
looking
them,
for,
they will
honestly,
either
in a very clear,
respond
concise way,
or, and then that gets more
for
views,
about a year
or
now.
you'll,
So, yeah,
Let's
it will
go.
show
You
up
got
on
it.
their
You got what
feed
you
as
were
well
looking
if they
for.
allow it, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
that gets
definitely,
more views.
definitely. Yeah,
So
it only took a couple
that's like
mentorships
another
and a
way to
cohort.
kind
Here
of
we are.
expand your following. It kind of sounds like funny. Yeah, everyone follow me. But yeah, once that happens, you're getting
I saw you came
more,
off mute, Andrew. I didn't know if you
you're
had something
getting
you
more
wanted to add.
traction and more people
Yeah, I'm just thinking
on
if
your
it's too much
journey.
information, I'm
That
sharing.
gives you more
Yeah,
opportunities in time.
the June 3rd
Stories.
Monday bonus Zoom that you had where you brought in a recording of you with the PML.
Hours and something
Mhm.
like that.
Remember that? So
Yes.
for everybody take note, it was on
So
June
I've been
3rd. It's
doing
in the
stories
vault.
because it's easier.
Now that we have
but I
this
will say,
context, go back and
make
watch
them
that.
posts. Turn them
Now
into
that we have the
posts if you
framework, we
can.
can see how you're
I'm giving you
implementing the
advice that I'm
framework in the
not really
conversation.
following
That's just
on.
what I was thinking.
Not
So I just
yet.
wanted to share
Gonna
that. That's
work
what
on
I'm
that.
going to do is
I don't know what the
But
difference
go back and
is.
watch
Story-
that
story I
conversation
posted
now
is
with this
actually
framework
the
to
same
see
thing.
how you've applied it in
you
real
know,
life.
the difference is
love
that
it,
the
dude.
post
That's what I
stays
was
in
gonna
your
share.
feed.
I love it. No, thank you for sharing that. That's great, man.
And the story's gone
Super
after
valuable.
24 hours. So if people
And
want to
sometimes
see
like you
who
don't necessarily always have to
or
start
what
at
you're
step one.
about,
Sometimes you'll start at
they won't
step
go into your
2 or
story if they don't see your
step 3.
feed
Sometimes you'll start
interesting.
in. Like if I'm talking with somebody,
Do you get what I'm saying?
and they've already kind of outlined, and I have a little bit of an idea on like what their goal is or
It doesn't
anything
make any
like that.
sense at all.
If
I want to put it
we're
on there.
5 minutes into the conversation, I might just
I
ask
went
them
through the
right
trouble
then
of
and
putting it
there,
on
just
there, it
to
should stay
help
there.
expedite the entire thing, because I don't need a 45-minute freaking life story
Put it as a post
in order to
or
just
a reel.
understand like why don't you just go do this today? What's keeping you from just doing this today?
When you scroll through,
So sometimes if I already have a
through-
context or
when
if
you're
I can tell
scrolling
that
through
they
on the
are
feed, what you see typically
that
is
they're going to tell
people's
me
posts and reels,
what they had for breakfast and all that kind of stuff.
like that. Okay, but when
then
you're
it's just kind
going
of one
into
of those
their
things where it's a
personal
gut feeling.
account, then you can
So
see
I'll
their
just ask
stories
them right then
at
and
that
there.
little circle
Like,
on the
okay, cool.
top.
Well, what's keeping you from just doing this today? Why don't you just go buy a property
And that
today? Why don't
is
you just go
gone
lend to
after
somebody today?
24 hours. That does not
And
stay
then
there.
I start to diagnose like, oh, okay, this is what the dealio is.
No,
Got
no.
it. That makes sense. So how do you see us
Do you
working
want to
together then?
chat about that, or do you want? I mean, I can't share because
Because
my
that
hands.
also at like
making
linking
dough.
those two things
But,
together, they're either going to
I gotta-
qualify you or
wanna-
disqualify you
I'm
right there.
running out of clock.
Yeah, I know.
I'm left.
Jonathan, what's up, dog?
Old lady's already called me and said I gotta get my ass to bed.
I think you
So,
kind of went into it just a little
I
bit
gotta
right
get
there,
up
but
in 4 hours.
earlier you had said,
Yeah, I totally
you know,
understand you because
when you're
that's
being
what
intentional
happened
with
to
your
me
time
a
and
few hours ago.
if you get into a
So,
conversation and, you know, why are we here? And
You
I'm
gotta
just
drive
saying,
12.
like,
You gotta do a
try-
12-hour day at
you're
work.
looking for, say, private money and this
A
person's
what?
looking
12-hour
for somebody
day
that can underwrite, right? The
Yeah,
conversation doesn't
sometimes
align with what
it
you're
feels
looking
like
for.
even
How
more,
do
but
you
yeah. I'm just saying,
transition
like, if you got, like,
you know,
try to figure out the difference
this is
between
what I'm
the
looking
feed
forward
and
to.
the
I know
story,
this isn't going to
because
work out, so
it
how do
will
I
make a
politely
difference, I
excuse
think, in
myself from
time.
this conversation, or what does that look like?
If
Great question.
people can
So what
track
I
that
try to
you've
do
been
is
doing
is
things
I
over
don't I've
time
gotten
and
so
not just
protective of
see
my
it for
time
that
now,
day.
as you guys should. This is something that I really can't
sense,
hammer
yes.
down enough
I have to
on
research it some more.
I hope you guys value
Cool.
your
If
time
there's something I can do to help with
the way
it,
that
then send
I
me
value
an
your time and the way that you should value your own time.
I'm
Anytime
fine,
somebody
but I
wants a
like to
piece
see
of your time,
I
like
can't-
you should
like I said, I still
immediately
don't know
think
what the
like,
difference
okay,
between
how do I
the story
disqualify
and
this
a-
person?
and
Now, not in a bad way. But like if somebody reaches out to me and wants to jump on a call,
I don't
like
know.
in the
I guess I'll
DMs or
just have to
whatever,
play with it
I'd be
and
like,
see.
great. Like, what do
I
you,
have no, I
what
don't
is
know.
it that
I've
you're
been doing
needing help
Facebook
with?
a little bit, but I don't. I got like.
And they're gonna be like, oh, well, I
There's a
you know,
little bit on
got
my
this mobile
Instagram,
home
but I don't
park
know
under
what y'all
contract
do.
and I'm trying to do blah, 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 blah. It's like, great. And I'll reply to them right then. And they're like, I honestly am not
Anyway.
doing mobile home parks. I don't know
You're
anything
gonna
about mobile
figure it
home
out. If
parks.
you're gonna
I
do real
really don't
estate,
know
feed and
who
stories
is
are,
buying mobile
they're
home parks.
nothing.
But if you'd like, I keep my ear to the ground.
You'll get it.
Should I come across anybody?
I'm
And
sure
then
we're all
happy
gonna get
to,
it at some
happy
point.
to,
And at
send it
some
your
point,
way.
we're gonna have a team doing it, so work up
And so
to
right
that.
then and there, like the conversation's
Okay.
over before it even began. Like I don't even get on the phone with them.
Absolutely.
But if I just happen to be
All right.
on a
I'm gonna
phone
have to
call or
run.
a Zoom with somebody and find out that,
Anything
you know,
else for
to
me
your
tonight?
point, this is actually the case. It's like, hey, well, I need help with underwriting.
I
Then
think we should just
my
put down
first
like
job,
what the
first and
goal
foremost, is just to
is,
serve.
like
Like I'm not going to
in
spend,
something
I'm not
that's
gonna spend 30 minutes
measurable.
on a phone call with them.
I don't think putting down a goal
But if
that
they're
is
if their
no
whole thing
measure,
is just like,
what
I
does
need
that
help
mean?
with underwriting, it's like,
So what's
great.
like
Are you
if
in
we're
sub 2? Are you
accountable,
not in
what are
sub
we
2?
accountable exactly to?
There's this
What do
really
we
wonderful and
expect by next
handsome
week
individual named
that
Zach
we
Bush
are
who
back
runs
on the call?
underwriting Zooms every single Friday. Have you reached out to him at all?
If I
Can
can
I
suggest
get
what
you
I
two
feel like
connected?
I'm
Can I get you
hearing
his registered
is
link? Like this is where
maybe
we can start
some
leveraging like
kind
this
of
community for these different types of things.
research, maybe YouTube University.
Like if you guys have
might be
other things that you guys
helpful in
are
just trying
doing,
to
if
self-teach
you guys have
in
other
how
Zooms
to
or things that you guys want
navigate
to
these social media
run
channels,
to
you know,
help
what
build
is the
your brand
difference
and your
between
credibility
posting a
as you guys
story,
are building
right?
your
Or,
business,
you
like
know,
what Zach
what
is doing.
the
And Zach,
social
you're
media
making
channel
everybody
that works
register
best
for your Zooms,
me?
right?
I think that
So for
sounds
those of you guys
like
that don't know, when you register
pretty
for a
good
Zoom,
first step for
anybody who
most
makes you
of
register
us.
has now
Um,
has access to
And
your
then if you're
information.
beyond that, then maybe it's okay, working on the
So now as Zach
consistency
is building
factor
his
for
brand, as he
posting.
starts sending out,
So it depends on kind of where you're
um,
at in the journey.
as he's increasing his marketing and sending out like newsletters and things like that,
A couple of posts or a
like
couple of
now he's got an
advertisements, see if
audience
we
of
can
his
get
own
something
from
done,
people that
so
have
we
come
have
to his
something to prove
Zooms
that we did
that
something.
he can start building brand awareness from and doing
Yeah.
deals with.
Research
When
will
he
have to
goes
come
and
up with, you know,
launches,
even if
or
they're
not
even if
launches,
they're
as
bad
he's
posts
growing
or
his
bad something,
podcast,
who knows, like,
he now
that's
has an
never
audience
nothing.
of people that he has direct contact with
Maybe a picture
that
of
he
the
can
dog
send
going down
newsletters and
I'll
the
try
updates
to
and say, hey,
share
don't
on the
forget, we've
grid.
got
Bill, if
my
there's, if
podcast on
you
this day
want to
and at
reach
this
out
time
at
and
any
come in and
point
join
and we
us. And
can
this
have
is
a
who the
quick
guest is.
convo
And this is
even,
what we're talking about. And so
no
this
problem.
is how you guys start building your brand and start
You
building your
work
credibility
hours, night hours,
from
right?
doing little things like this. And this is where we can
Just
come in
changed
and we
over.
can
Now I'm
leverage each
working
other. If any
days.
one of you guys
I
got on
swapped
a Zoom
shifts so I
or,
could do
in
this.
a DM with somebody
But
and
I
they were
gotta
like,
go to
well,
bed
I need
early
help
on
with
this shift,
underwriting.
so it's
You
kinda like
already
the
know
first
that's
time
not the
I gotta
highest and
spread
best use
myself.
of your time, but you know
Okay,
that
just
Zach is
reach out.
running
We'll
these
try to figure
Zooms
out a time and I'll try
as
to
he's building
explain
his
what that
business
looks
because
like.
underwriting just happens to be
How I do what I
Zach's freaking
do. And
superpower.
I
He's a
can't say
freaking
it's
boss
working.
at
I'm just
it.
saying that's what I've been doing.
It's like, great, let me send you over here.
So that you get an understanding of the difference
And that's where we
between
can
the two
start
things.
working and collaborating together,
And anyone else, please
leveraging each
feel
other's
free
strengths, leveraging each other's
to reach
superpowers,
out and I can try to do my best. I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll
creating
figure it out.
opportunity in the group. So that's what I would do,
Love it.
Jonathan. I would start
Let's not
finding a
know what
way
we're doing
to
together
solve their
and
problem
get somewhere.
in the next
Yeah,
couple
and
minutes.
like,
Like obviously, and then one of the
let's
questions
not
I'm
know
going to
what we're
ask, like,
doing
oh,
together, but like,
you want to be
I think the whole
underwriting.
idea in the
Great. What's the
accountability
goal? Or
is
why aren't
to
you
figure it
just
out
underwriting
together
properties
and
today?
pull
So I
in
might jump
resources.
to like
Now that
step
we're
2.
4
I might
people, we can
jump over
talk
to the
to
east
8 people
or
this
the
week
south.
and not each
I might
one of
just
us
ask,
talk
great,
to
well, what's
one,
keeping you from just
right? We
underwriting
can
5
find
properties today?
ourselves speaking to 8 because we'll
Oh,
share
I
here
literally
what we
know
learned.
nothing. Got it.
And
What
that
have
way
you
we can get
done
it, we
to
can get
figure
a
this
lot more
out? How
done.
many videos have you watched? How many people have you talked to this week?
And just having a support group.
None.
You know, somebody
Great.
to say,
Cool.
"Hey, why
So
didn't you do this today?"
I just get on YouTube and I would just search underwriting
Kind of keep
and
us
start
accountable
watching and
so
just
we don't
consuming as much as you can, just so you at least have a foundational understanding of what it is and why it's important.
Yeah,
I've got a
we're
really
gonna
good
kill
friend of
it.
mine named Zach Bush who
Guys,
runs
1 million a month.
underwriting
We're
Zooms
killing it.
every
We're
single
gonna
Friday.
get that.
He'll show you some really
million a
Yeah,
month.
why-
shit.
One
You're gonna
step at
10x to 10x.
Let me get you his Zoom link so you can register for it.
10x to 10x.
telling
That's a
you.
little high.
My
Okay.
goal, my goal's
2-minute
50 mil. My
conversation,
goal's
3-minute
50 mil
conversation.
and 50 million
Like
in
always there
5
to
years
serve.
worth. So
But using that
there's a lot
framework,
to
it
get
allows you
done.
to qualify
Let's
these
get it
55
going.
people so you can extract the information that you need. And you
When
don't
you get to
need,
100K a month, that'd be
30 minutes to do it.
unbelievable.
Boom. There you go. There's a Zoom link.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
My first goal, I mean, when you break it down, my first goal is 30,000 a month.
Did that answer your question, Jonathan, or do you have a follow-up to that? Because that killer question.
So
You
All
and
right.
Andrew got some great questions.
That's good.
Sweet.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
everyone.
No, I
Thank you.
think that's
Have a
great.
great night.
Thanks,
Again,
guys. See y'all
I'm
later.
a very direct communicator, something I've been working on. 'Cause it
Recording
comes across
stopped.
as rude sometimes. People can't handle direct communication, I guess, a lot of times. And I like how